Hey, this is Adam with the Solar Truth. I got an email recently that was a question. Somebody interested in getting a solar roof and a Tesla roof, and they saw the YouTube video comparisons and they wanted to talk to me and see how the roof would look. So I have their house here and I have Eugene on the phone with me, and we're gonna do this live, kind of figure out how it's gonna look. He was able to send me his layout of the roof, the production, all the details, and the cost breakdown here. All right, so here's his house. So basically, with Aurora here, how I model these and I'm able to get pretty accurate, very accurate production, is start off drawing the roof using pretty much just Google Earth, but also LiDAR data, which I'll show in a second. There we go. Okay, so that's the basis of your roof. Now, this is that LiDAR data that we were talking about, where you have military drones measuring the height. You got some really big trees to the east, which shouldn't matter too much. The sun's not really gonna matter on those. It will affect it a little bit. I should actually draw those. So first, I got to get your roof height correct, so I can kind of get a little bit of help there, and then get these trees in there. All right, that's pretty good. And then you got some little trees here. That's really the only stuff that's going to affect the shade. Your neighbor's house almost is going to affect it a little bit. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and draw that too, just to make sure. Okay, so now we can do. I believe your fire guidelines are pretty similar to my area, where you got a foot and a half on the sides, 3 feet on the top, and a foot and a half in the valleys. It's pretty standard. And then we can run irradiance, so we'll see the actual shade production. You know what, actually first, you got some other obstacles in there too. So get this skylight in there. It is flush. And like a couple little things going on here. Alright, that should be alright. So now we're on radiance. So what you're going to see here is where the best spot for solar is, on the radiance. And so this tree is shading a little bit there. So if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, 50%. But here we're up at like 90, that's really good. And we're true south right there. So this is your best area. Up here is your best area. Back here, 76%, you're losing about 15, 20% on the north side. And the sun is, you're just getting less of a sun angle. I can even, show how that looks with like the summer and winter seasons, how the sun's going to go across and everything. If we're in the winter, the sun's at a lot lower angle. So it kind of does all that. In fact, we could even see if this house, your neighbor's house is actually shading a little bit. Not in the winter. So this is a winter, and your neighbor's house is shading, and those big trees are shading. That's kind of crazy. So what's interesting is when we go back and look at the Tesla quote, did they take these trees into consideration and stuff? We just don't really know. But we'll just see what the numbers are on this. So first, I'm just going to go with like a mid-grade panel, like LG. So first, let's do like the size system they said. So if we go back and look at your quote, you're getting an 8.3 kilowatt system, and you're producing 8.4, and you're producing 10,000 kilowatt hours a year. And you got half of it on this side, or more than half on the north side, and then a little bit less than half on the south side. So if I do, let's say LG 350s, they're kind of a mid-grade, really good warranty. Actually, they're kind of a high-end panel, but really good, one of the best warranties, but also not like the most expensive like SunPower. If this roof was actually measured out, and went to permitting and stuff, this design would be adjusted for sake of just doing this quick, I'm gonna maybe not make it look super pretty. Just kind of see what we can fit on here. We could actually fit probably a couple more panels right there too. You know what, let me just keep all these this way and then it'll look a little nicer. I really, the first thing I want to do is just get to like around 8.4 kilowatts to get us a comparison similar to the quote you got. So I'm going to encroach fire code a little bit just because we don't need this big of a system. So if we match that size system, which is what a lot of those comparison videos that you kind of see, they're like, oh, this size system compared to this is, you know, it's not that much more. So we're 8.4 kilowatts. So yeah, so let's go and just see how much production this would get. So these panels right there, that's not very, you know, I don't really want that one there actually, but I am kind of running out of room. So it's not, let's just do that one there. Oh, that's where it was. Okay. Well, anyway, let's just see. So this is very conservative also. 11,200. So that's with microinverters. So this is just basically, and this will give you individual panel level production, which is really cool. You know, you'd see your like in-phase monitoring, you'd see your individual panels, which is nice. You know exactly what's working. Like Tesla is just showing you the total production. I'm not actually sure how you would diagnose those systems if some of the panels or cells aren't working. And that's how systems used to be. That's how string inverters were in the past. You know, it was hard to tell. You have to look at your total production and kind of try to figure out if it's still working like it should, and then go through each individual panel. You know, in phase, you can look at each panel and see if it's working or not. You know, and watch how you know, watch how it produces throughout the day in each panel. So you see if you know, what the sun's doing, what the shade is doing. It's pretty cool, pretty high level stuff. So that's what this system would do. So we got 11, almost 12,000 kilowatts, which I actually expected a little bit more out of a 8.4 kilowatt system. But the thing is, it's because of the shade that I put in here, which I don't know if Tesla is accounting for like these big trees that are far away, you know, because they actually are affecting it. But I'm not sure what their modeling is. So, but anyway, so that gives us, you know, so if we were to compare this, like say same size system, let's say we can fit it all on the south roof, which you actually probably could. But to be honest, you might want to put a couple of these panels that are right here. It would actually be better on the north, you know, because this tree is, or cut this tree. You know, that could be an option too. Like, are you going to plan on trimming this tree anyway, maybe?
No, I don't think I'll be cutting that tree.
Okay, that's fine. So let's either, but you know, this one could go like on the north side, or even I could maybe fit it in somewhere else on the roof if I actually got roof measurements and stuff. So now if you were to, I'll just do like very, oh man, I'm gonna have to get to pricing, I would have to show your address, so.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
Okay. Let me go ahead and just do that on my other screen, and then I'll come back. Oh, I guess I just can't do the video. Oh, you know what? I bet I can do the video. Yeah, there, you can have me on the screen for now. Okay, so for the pricing I'm going to use is going to be fairly generic. Basically about $3 a watt is, you know, fairly average pricing. And then the re-roof was, you know, we'll put the re-roof in there. We'll put the, you said your roof quotes were about 12,000?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And I mean, roofing around here for that size roof would probably be more like 8,000, but we'll just put 12,000 because that's, you know, the quotes you got. Basically, the solar itself, at around $3 a watt for 8.4 kilowatts, 24, and then 12,000 for the roof, so 36. So that ends up being fairly similar to what you got, about 38,000. Electrical upgrades. What did they? Are you getting a panel upgrade or?
Yeah, apparently when I was talking to them, they mentioned that it needs to be at least 100 amps or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently it's 100 amps. So that whether I do panels or I do the roof itself, that's a mandatory upgrade.
Okay. So yeah, so the solar itself is pretty similar. They're doing about $3 a watt also, and that's like if you do like their regular solar or other companies, like it could be a bit less. $3 is fairly conservative, especially for like Q cell or other panels are going to be you know, more like 270, 275 a watt, which would be a couple $1,000s less on the solar cost. So my cost there is a little bit high. And then a panel upgrade is about $2,000 of the electrical and permitting costs that they're putting in here. And then the roof itself, you know, 8,000. Yeah, that's what a normal kind of roof would cost. But now, you know, re-roofing with comp, like probably a lifetime guarantee comp roof like you got a quote for is 12. So that ends up being fairly similar, but we are producing a bit more power. And I don't know if they're going with that shading, but yeah, let me get back down to the same amount of power, and we'll see how that changes. But also, if we, you know, I think a more competitive price of panels itself is going to be a little bit less too. So like if we get 279 a watt, yeah, especially on a comp roof, that's a pretty easy install. And then add that roof cost in here, and then you know we would have to add that like electric panel upgrade though. So it'd be almost exactly the same actually. That's interesting. For the a bit more production though. Okay, so let's change this now to. That's actually, I mean, honestly, I feel like that's actually a pretty low solar roof cost. I don't know if they're getting the price down even more because they're doing more volume, but that doesn't. It seems a little bit low. So what I'm doing, I'm copying the quote I had there. So now I have. I'm gonna model it kind of with the same production, because right now we were at about 20% more production than the Tesla roof system. And that's with these trees and stuff, which I don't know if they're calculating for, because those are affecting it a bit. Your actual production, like all these orangish colors, are because of those trees. You know, we would have more of above 90%, if not. So let's take a few of these panels off, especially the bad ones. So 6.3 kilowatts is going to get us about 9,000, so a little bit more than that. 10,200. And we're at, so yeah, that's more now. So one advantage that you actually have with your roof, and it really is custom. I mean, you know, in some cases, everything, you know, I like to figure out what works the best for everybody. You know, and so if you have salespeople that are just pushing one product, it might not be the right thing for them. You know, to be honest, you actually have an advantage here versus other comparisons that I've done and seen, because your roof has such a low angle. So your low angle is letting this north side have a decent amount of production. So normally when your panels are on the north side, you're losing about 30, a little bit 30 or more percent production. And right here, you have about 90, you know, 85, 75 to 90, about 80 to 90% on this roof. and then 76 on this roof. So really, you're only losing about 15% production on this north roof. If this roof didn't have shading and your pitch was steeper, you'd be losing about 30% production on this side. So putting these panels on this side, because the cells themselves are, the panels themselves are actually pretty inefficient because they take up so much space as a roof tile. So you have to put them on this north side. Isn't that bad for your house?
Got it.
So, you know, right now we have more production on the south side. So, you know, it would work. You could have the same amount of production with a smaller system all on this, and you might not even have to do the panel upgrade now. Because once you get above about 7 kilowatts, then you have to upgrade to a 200 amp panel. So you might actually be able to cut out. So that's just another variable that you'd have to kind of throw in there and see if it would matter. Because if you could fit this system on the current electric panel you have, you know, if you don't need a panel upgrade, then why do it, you know, unless you want to do it anyway. But yeah, basically a 7.6 kilowatt system is about the max generally before you need to do a panel upgrade. But you might have a 100 amp center fed where you really need to do a panel upgrade anyway. I'd have to say pictures of your panel and stuff. But if you have a 125 amp bus in the back, you know, there's a lot of kind of electric codes that define, you know, the size of solar system that could be, that you would need. Okay, so our price here dropped a little bit because we took a few panels off, you know, so now we're a couple $1,000s less, and about the same production. So this would be a more true comparison because we're getting the same, actually a little bit more production out of this system, and the variables are all basically similar now. So we have a little bit more production. Yeah, you're 109%. Basically, so at 200, actually was pretty accurate, it looks like. I don't know if I have the right rate put in for you, but I put about a $200 average. So this is a good size system. And it's hard because, you know, normally if it's like, oh, I need a 7 kilowatt system, that's just standard. But really what you need is 10,000 kilowatt hours a year. That's the misconception that's going on. So you have people that are, oh, I need a 12 kilowatt Tesla roof system, or I need 12 kilowatts of solar, but that 12 kilowatts of solar is only producing 15,000 kilowatt hours a year. And if you put regular PV all on the south side at the best angle, you know, then you only need a 9 kilowatt system, or, you know, 30% smaller or something. So, you know, the kilowatt hours per year, that's what you're paying for. You know, so the cost you're paying for the size system, but the production is what you actually are maybe not paying for, but that's what your value is. You know, that's what you're getting out of it. So that's what really matters. In fact, the size of the system, if it ends up being bigger, like, you know, 8.4 kilowatts or 10 or 12, you might have to upgrade your panel and do other additional things to handle that size just because of code, just because of National Electric Code guidelines. Even though the system won't be producing that much power because a lot of it's, you know, on the north side or something like that. But anyway, let me see what else they have in here. So 10,000, 8.4. I think that's the only thing stuff you sent me, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So the other comparisons I had done were, you know, definitely more dramatic. Like I could, just out of curiosity to see if, you know, let's say Tesla didn't account for these trees. Or let's say you cut those trees down. You know, I don't think you're going to cut these big trees down that are like in the forest here, but if those weren't an obstacle, even this neighbor's house, you know, let's just lower that too. Those are factors we can't really change though, but this is, I'm just kind of playing with it and seeing how much it's going to produce. So now the 7.3 kilowatt system, you can see the shading instantly, much better color, you know, really bright yellow. We got 94% instead of 80 to 90 now. So now you're at 120% energy and you're at 11,237 kilowatts. So I could take like 2 or 3 more panels off now and lower the cost even more. So I would say one factor to consider is like, are they taking into account that tree and those other trees? I don't know. If they aren't, then you're actually going to get even less production than they're saying. So then the production guarantee would kind of come into place, and this is an estimate, so I doubt they're actually guaranteeing that production number. It's probably just that the cells are producing power for 25 years, but then there's shading and other variables in the fine print that are going to affect that. So you might not actually get that much production. It is weird, like, why don't they have any panels right here? I mean, it is strange on their layouts sometimes. It's like, why not right there? Why not right there? There's not anything that I can tell that isn't obstruction. They have one random panel, and maybe this design, maybe it would change a little bit when they actually measure it and get further along. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, absolutely. When I actually asked them about it, apparently it was due to some building code or whatnot, or safety measures. It was kind of strange because they mentioned that they needed a distance away from either the vent or whatnot. But I did specifically hone in on those empty areas when I was asking.
yeah. So this is your 3 foot fire code right here, and then I think they're the sides, you might have a 3 foot fire code too, but they seem like they push the limits on that a little bit. I mean, the Tesla roof system really, if it's wet at all too, I don't know how firefighters would even walk on it. Although you have a pretty flat roof, so it's probably not as big of a deal. But a little bit steeper roofs that are wet, you're walking on glass like that. That could definitely be an issue. So it's hard to say. The Maybe they're doing a 3 foot fire code here because this is like they're considering the top of the roof, but it's not. So that one just doesn't make sense to me. This is just an extension of that roof surface. So I could put more panels down there too. But if you saw my other irradiance, it starts getting shaded anyway, more toward the bottom and the right hand side. So it's not good. Even these panels right here, these would be heavily shaded by that tree. Like these panels are almost useless, and that's why I don't have any there. In fact, I would even, well, this is the bigger system, or not this is, I wouldn't even need this big of a system if there's not that shade. Yeah, I really doubt they're taking these trees into consideration. Because I almost didn't because they're so far away, but they're so huge that they actually do affect it. It's crazy. So if I just had this one tree here, we could actually see a bit of a difference now. Comparing to them, if we aren't taking these trees into consideration, then I can do even a smaller system too. So you can see too, we just have a little bit of shade here. So now I would get rid of those panels that are the most affected by it. And now we're down to a 6.7 kilowatt system, probably producing over 10,000 kilowatts like the Tesla system as well. So 10,038, and now we're at almost. So maybe add one more panel still. I really don't like getting near the shade. I think there'd be a better way to do the layout, actually measuring it. But anyway, so yeah, 7 kilowatt system would produce the same amount then. And that would be, maybe 33,500 with fairly similar those electric upgrades. That's, I'm not quite sure. I think that's including other stuff too. And you said it was just a panel upgrade, right?
Yeah, it's a panel upgrade for the most part.
Yeah, that seems way too. A panel upgrade is normally like about $2,300. So I think they're including other costs in there in the pre-construction, and it's not just the panel upgrade. So I don't know if about adding that whole amount in there, yeah. But 23 $2,500. If you're paying an outside electrician to do that, it could be as much as like $3,000 to $4,000. But with solar systems, with permitting, it's normally about $2,300. So then, then we're under 34,000 versus 38. So yeah, I mean, it's saving a decent amount. You could, but yeah, your house actually, I would say, is a decent candidate for the Tesla roof system, from what this looks like.
Yeah. I think the cost, from what I can tell at least, like the cost for the top shingles as well as the electrical upgrade is probably the big variable that sort of bump up the value, not value, but the cost overall in comparison to the system that you're trying to set up.
Yeah.
The individual panels.
If I put some of these panels on this north side too, basically it's going to happen like when you see these percentage numbers, 93 compared to 78, it's going to get that much less production. Yeah. So, that's what's happening mainly with the Tesla roof system, because really like this panel right here is 350 watts. But if it was built into a tile, it would take up about 30 or 40% more space. So that's what's happening. So now, you're going to have to put half the system on the other side. So that's what's happening with the Tesla roof systems, and that's what's making it a lot more expensive and less production on most homes. And, the look, like, it's interesting. Like, the Tesla, it's definitely sleek, pretty nice looking. I wouldn't want every house with, like, a solid black, glass look like it, but a few of them here and there, is all right. Especially if it goes okay with like the style of your home. I've seen some systems where it's like doesn't fit at all. It's like a vintage, like country style home, and then this like futuristic black slate glass roof. It doesn't really fit. But so those are different factors too. Until they have their other designs, which I think are going to take a while. Like clay ones, if they, the thing is like, 1,000 Tesla roof systems a week. I think the market is too limited because it's going to be, you're a pretty good candidate, but there's not that many good candidates out there compared to just the cost of regular PV, So I think they're going to have a hard time continuing to do that much or even ever doing that much volume, or making it worth it to do like a Spanish clay tile look, because those are, now you have, instead of a flat roof, now you have a curved tile. So, you already have, the efficiency of Tesla roof tile is already like around 10% versus like 20% of regular PV. So if you add a curve to that, and now your tile space, your cell space is even smaller, it's even going to be less. So they're going to have some challenges making those other tile shapes work.
Question to you, in your layout that you have right now, where the bottom 4 panel is running along the roof line, the edge of the roof line.
Yeah.
Is that something that's doable?
It is doable because you have rails behind these panels. So, but this would be, again, just like, Tesla might make some changes too. We might end up, when we go to engineering, and measure your roof and everything, kind of play with this a little bit more. I'm just doing it pretty quickly. We might end up deciding that a better layout is all landscape, and might switch it to something like that. And then you got, maybe 4 rows. So there's a bit of flexibility, but you can do landscape or portrait with, normal PV. So technically it's a little bit more expensive to do landscape like this, because now you have two rails going horizontal on a smaller area. So you need more railing. You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus just like 4 the other way I had it. But yeah, I might end up looking better, doing landscape on this particular roof. Pretty tight fit. You might be able to fit it in between that skylight there. So that's a 6.3 kilowatt, and then you could continue running along here too. 7 kilowatt. So that could look better. Yeah, getting accurate measurements is going to help a lot though, and then adjusting the design accordingly. And from the street, yeah, I mean it's definitely going to be visible. It's not like I don't think it's going to be. I don't. I mean, I like the way regular solar looks. But everybody has a different opinion. Some people just think it's hideous. Some people think it doesn't matter. Some people think it looks good. High tech. Looks cool. It just depends. It's just a personal preference. So, all right. Yeah, I think that that kind of covers everything. So basically, the Tesla, the roof tile system, I would say it's probably going to cost a couple $1,000s more. But hey, you're getting a 25-year guarantee on your whole roof from Tesla. It's all one system. Yeah, I mean it's not too bad. When it's more like 10, 15, $20,000 more, then it's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It doesn't make as much sense then. But this could work. Tesla, normally they take quite a while to install too, which I hear a bit of complaints about. But normally people aren't too vocal about them because they still want to get referrals and stuff. I mean, it's actually amazing because I've seen a lot of people that their Tesla projects, whether it's power walls or solar or Tesla roof tiles, they take like 1 to 2 years. And most people get mad at like solar companies if they take like more than 2 months. But but Tesla has such loyal followers, and they realize that maybe this is a newer product at the time. Maybe it's going faster now. I don't know, but they like don't even complain. It's like it's amazing.
I've definitely seen like a slowdown in terms of the roof and the amount of videos that you actually see on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have as well, and I think they still say they're going to be doing 1,000 per week, but they haven't actually given any numbers on how many they're actually doing. And it's been long enough. It's like, come on, hey, let us know what's going on, because I guarantee you it's not even close to that number.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge number. Tesla, they are starting to try to push regular solar more now too. So I am seeing that a lot more, is like their regular solar. But that's just Panasonic panels or whatever. It's not Tesla. It's just like it's Solar City that Elon Musk bought or bailed out his cousins, and that's they're just using whatever solar panels, Panasonic or I'm not sure what other panels they're really using right now because they're ending their partnership with Panasonic, but it's. They're not making any of those parts, they're just the installer.
Yeah.
So, which is how it is in most cases. I mean, the only company that makes the parts and installs it is kind of SunPower, but you also have a lot of other companies that install SunPower panels as well. Otherwise, manufacturers are just manufacturing, they're not actually installing too. And then installers or finance companies are either just financing or just installing. But you're still getting a pretty good warranty either way, whether it's through the manufacturer or the installer or a combination of both. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, just out of my curiosity, I mean, do you think you're going to move forward with the Tesla roof system or look into more regular PV?
I actually don't know yet. I'm still in the process of thinking this through because what is refreshing is that based on the data that I'm seeing is that there is probably still a small amount of delta in terms of cost, but it's reasonable enough where it's worth considering the Tesla solar.
Yeah, I would say that too. And normally it's a little bit more black and white, like the other comparisons I did. And I mean, I felt kind of bad because I don't want to make these people, if they saw my videos, feel bad about their decision to get the Tesla roof tiles. But trying to help other people make decisions and have more information and stuff. So it's, but yeah, in this case, I wouldn't really be able to give you a solid recommendation because it's very similar, and it kind of depends on if they put those trees in there for shading and how much that electric upgrade really costs. if that electric upgrade really is $6,000, then it's going to be basically the same cost.
Yeah. Okay. I think, there's still a lot of question marks for me in terms of Tesla solar roof, like how does one actually clean it or maintain it, right? Because
Right.
at least in my videos that I've researched so far, that you've got to do that the same with panels as well. And I haven't heard seen a lot of videos about maintenance for the roof. So that will be the interesting part.
Yeah. There definitely is a lot of unknown variables in there because, like I said, when you have the steeper roofs too, I saw one of the video comparisons I did. The guys were slipping on it when they were installing it. So if it's wet, like I can't even imagine. If you do get a leak in your roof and it's raining or wet, you wouldn't even be able to do anything. You wouldn't be able to go up there, or it would be very, very difficult. Also, how do you repair it? If you have any problems, how quick is Tesla going to response to do roof repairs and things? Because now they're a roofing company, as well as a solar company. Or if you have, solar problems too, which they are kind of a solar company because they do have, solar cities infrastructure. And I don't know if I did a video on that yet. I was gonna, because that's kind of a big scandal that's kind of crazy. The bailout of his cousins there when it was gonna go under, and it was like $2.6 billion or something. Yeah, it's a crazy industry, and they're you just got to do a bit of research and whatever company you go with, look at reviews online, and the product itself too matters, but it's really what matters to you as far as the warranty and the product and what you're getting. But the roof itself, it's interesting. It's just so much different than a regular roof. Are they, if it's not around for a long time, how is it going to work in 5 or 10 years when it needs to be repaired and they don't even make it anymore? Because unlike most of the YouTube videos out there where it says this is a completely new product, nothing's like that. There's 12 other roof tile systems that have been out before, and like if you saw my first video, like an introduction kind of, I talk about that. And there's they all don't even exist anymore. It didn't make sense. It was just too much cost in manufacturing. Even this quote, honestly, this is like a normal PV cost, a normal panel cost for the 8.4 kilowatt system. And their production costs in making these are way more than normal solar electric, So I would, to be honest, I would say they're losing money on this. And how long are they going to be willing to lose money before they just decide to stop making this product? But they're also Tesla, so their cars are probably going to keep them in business, so they probably will still warranty it either way. So that's kind of a reassurance.
Yeah. Thank you so much, though. This is really helpful.
Yeah.
It definitely gives a different perspective to it, right?
Yeah, no problem. And actually, looking at this too, the solar roof cost, they're saying $14,000. I guess they're kind of combining them together. So maybe this is more expensive than PV because it's only the cells. Whereas now you have this is your whole roof. Your whole roof is 14,000 square feet, but they're charging $18,000. So even though they're breaking these two down, they're not really broken down, right? Because your whole 14,000 square feet also includes this 8,000 kilowatt system that's also your roof. So it's kind of weird. They're trying to show you a broken down, but really it should be combined. It should be just, hey, 32,000 for the whole thing, and they're showing you the cost difference. But the reason that I say that is because this shouldn't say 14,075 square feet. This solar roof cost should say should say maybe 600 square feet or 700 square feet, because it's only these gray areas, the light gray areas. Because 14,000 square feet is your whole area, your whole roof. But yeah, let me know if you need anything else. If you want to email me or have any more questions or anything. But we'll see. I'll definitely probably have to cut this video down a bit because it's been pretty long if I end up posting it. But yeah, it might be on YouTube soon.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. All right, thanks. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.